Do you know that most students get scared whenever they come across the word directly and inversely in the same question? Now the question is, given that R is directly proportional to L and inversely proportional to P, R is equal to 3 when L is equal to 9 and P equal to 0.8. Find R when L is this and P is equal to this. Now when it comes to variation question, especially joint variation as this is the first thing you have to do. Establish the formula from the statement given to you. Once the relationship has been established, the next thing to do is to use the very first statement on the board to get your constant term. Now, what is the first statement given? The first statement is that R is this, L is this, and P is this. This is the first parameters that must be used to determine your constant term before going straight to what is required from the question. So let's go. Solution. Now from what is given to us, given that R is directly proportional to L, that is R is proportional. This symbol is for proportionality. So we use this to establish the relationship between two or more quantities. R is proportional to L and inversely proportional to P. So R is inversely proportional. Take note, whenever you come across the word inverse in mathematics or indirectly, it means the same thing. And it also means 1 divided by that quantity. So inversely proportional to P means 1 divided by P. That's the meaning of the statement. At this juncture, we can establish the relationship between R, L, and P. How do we obtain this? It's very simple. If you look at what is given to us from this expression on the board, we have R, we also have R that is directly and inversely proportional to L and P respectively. Since we have R in two of these, we are going to pick one arrow. So that becomes R. Again, proportionality symbol is in both. We are going to pick one, proportionality. Now, we are left with L and 1 over P. What should we do with them? We have to multiply L by this. So it will become L times 1 over P. And if you multiply L by 1 over P, we are going to get L times 1 is L divided by what? P. That is to say, R will be proportional to L divided by P, L divided by P. But it is impossible to solve from what we have right here without an equality sign being given to this. So we are going to introduce equal to sign. Take note of this. Equal to sign and proportionality signs are not basically the same thing. Now, to introduce the equal to sign or the equality sign, we have to do this. R will equal to, once the proportionality sign changes to equal to sign, we introduce a constant to it. We can represent the constant term with k. So let's say k, then times L over P. R is equal to k times L over P. Proportionality symbol usually comes with constant term. Now the relationship between what is given to us, between P, L, and R is given as this. Now from the first statement or parameters given on the board, I said we are using the parameters or the first statement to determine the value of k. If you observe closely, you notice that R, L, and P was given to us in the question on the board. R is given, L is given, and P is given. Since 1, 2, 3 has been known, we can make k the subject of the formula. Then substitute the values to get k. To make k the subject, k will equal to, remember, if you multiply k by this, it will become kl over p. Now to make k the subject, you can do this in your rough sheet, making k the subject. If I make k the subject from here, then k will equal to R P divided by L. This is the relationship. Now let us determine the value of k from this relationship given using the first statement or parameters provided on the board. To do this, knowing that k is equal to that, then k will equal to R times P. R times P, when R is 3, times P, and P is given as 0.8, all divided by L, and L is given as 9. So if you point this to your calculator, we have 2.4 over 9, which is equal to 0.2667. So k is given as, k is equal to 0.2667. 0.2667 into 4 decimal places. Now the next question is, find R when L is 15 and P is 18. How do we achieve that? Now everything is going to be established from the relationship given to us. The relationship is that we have K, we have R, and we also have P and L. But at this point, we have made K the subject and determined the value of K to be 0.2667. Since that is so, then we were required to make one of these parameters the subject of the formula, and the parameter is R. Find R. Because we are required to find the value of R, that means we are going to make R the subject from this relationship established. Making R the subject, you can use your rough sheets to do this. Now if you are making R the subject of the formula from this point, this is very simple. You pick R. R is equal to, find R, yeah. So we pick R is equal to this times this. which is KL. KL divided by the quantity standing with R, which is P. P. Okay, so R is equal to K is given as 0.266 times L is given from the question as 15, all divided by 1.8. 4 divided by 1.8, which equal to so on the board, the correct answer for R is 2.222 and so on. If this video was helpful or this method was well explained or helpful to you, click on the subscribe button and also turn on your notification button so that whenever we post a video, you'll be the first to receive. Thank you.